Most disturbing live TV incidents. And then we'll play Granny.
News stations would do anything for a top story, whether it be broadcasting a man's last moments, hostage situations, or robberies. These are disturbing things caught on live TV. Welcome back to another video. Now, I know what it looks like, okay? It may look like I haven't posted anything for 2 months. It may look like that. It may look like I took a little break because I just wasn't really feeling it. Like, I wasn't like overworking myself or burnt out or anything. I didn't have it anymore. Like, I didn't have the motivation to make videos. But yeah, with all that being said, let's just get straight into the first case. Collar bomb. On August 28th, 2003 at 1:47 p.m., Mama Mia's Pizzeria would receive a call from a payphone. The owner couldn't understand the caller, so he handed the phone to 46-year-old Brian Wells, who was requested to deliver 2 pizzas to 8631 Peachtree. The address was that of a TV transmitting tower at the end of a dirt road. Upon arrival at 2 p.m., Brian was greeted by 3 men and 1 woman who held him at gunpoint before being instructed to put a bomb collar around his neck. They would then hand Brian a cane-shaped shotgun and gave him the location of a bank and told him to rob it. If successful, he would be allowed to walk away with his life, and if unsuccessful, the bomb collar would detonate. Brian was handed a note which read, "Gather employees with access code
Gotham City?
Work fast to fill bag with $250,000. You have only 15 minutes." Upon arrival at the bank, fill bag with $250,000.
250K in 15 minutes, come back and forth. That's crazy. How are you going to be able to do that? I'm not the Flash, bro. I'm not the Flash.
$1,000. You have only 15 minutes. Upon arrival at the bank at 2:30 p.m., he would hand the teller the note, but the teller was unable to access the vault in that time, so Brian was handed $8,702, with which he exited the bank. At 2:38, a witness would call 911 and report that a man was leaving the bank with a bomb or something wrapped around his neck. Brian would attempt to leave the scene, headed towards a wooded area as instructed by his captors, but at 2:54, police arrived at the scene and arrested him. The police then handcuffed him and sat him down in a McDonald's parking lot.
God, they're gonna blow it.
Evacuating the block due to the ongoing bomb.
They're gonna blow it.
At 3:04 p.m., the bomb squad would be called in, and at this point, multiple news stations would be live on the scene reporting the situation. I can imagine Brian having some hope at this point, with cops all around him, media coverage, and a bomb squad on scene.
I have zero hope. They can blow this baby up any second they want.
It did seem like things might turn out alright for him. But at 3:18 p.m., police squads, bystanders, news reporters, and thousands of people watching the news saw Brian Wells' head explode on live television. The bomb squad would unfortunately arrive 3 whole minutes later, but by then, Brian was long gone. The people responsible were Marjorie Deal Armstrong, Kenneth Barnes, William Rothstein, and Floyd Stockton Jr. They had all discussed how
Floyd Stockton Jr. Why does that sound like a Batman character? Floyd's... It sounds like it sounds like a villain from the Arrow. Wait, am I thinking of Floyd Law? Am I thinking of Deadshot? Is that what I'm thinking of right now?
Oh, they could make a lot of quick money, and Marjorie suggested Barnes kill her father, and Kenneth told her he'd do it for $250,000. Marjorie Stein and Floyd Stockton Jr. They had all discussed how they could make a lot of quick money, and Marjorie suggested Barnes kill her father, and Kenneth told her he'd do it for $250,000. So they hatched the collar bomb plan and would use it on Brian Wells, who was even told about the plan, as they were initially just going to use the bomb as a scare tactic, but after one of Brian's friends/sex workers set up Brian for money and drugs, his fate was sealed. They would all be arrested and all died from 2004 to 2022. San Francisco, 89. On June 27th, 1988, a 5.3 magnitude earthquake would hit San Francisco. The quake broke windows and made houses crumble, but an even stronger 5.4 magnitude earthquake would hit again on August 8th, 1989.
That's just
where chimneys got toppled, walls cracked, and underground pipes busted open. While at the time it seemed like that was as bad as it could get, that was only the beginning of something awful. On October 7th, 1989, the San Francisco Giants would play against the Oakland Athletics in the 1989 World Series. The event was broadcast live, and the game was proceeding as usual until
earthquake. Earthquake.
Second base. So
second base. What happened?
I'll tell you what, we're having an earthquake.
Damn! In the same year? During the World Series?
A 6.9 magnitude earthquake hit California's central coast at 5 p.m. out of nowhere, which was so powerful it caused 4,000 landslides across Santa Cruz roads, bluffs of the Pacific coast, and Marin Peninsula. 12,000 homes and 2,600 businesses were damaged, and in Santa Cruz, 40 buildings collapsed. 6 people. Other deaths
Damn.
occurred when the San Francisco-Oakland Bridge collapsed after a section of the upper deck fell onto the deck below. A 5-foot-story tower would collapse at St. Joseph's Seminary in Santa Clara County. The Santa Cruz Pacific Garden Mall suffered insane damage, and the Cypress Viaduct also collapsed after the support columns failed to support the upper deck. In the San Francisco Marina District, the ground was built on landfill, which consisted of sand, dirt, rubble, and other materials containing a lot of water, which led to the ground liquefying, making the shockwaves in the ground ripple harder. But while this all happened, news media was documenting it happen from all different angles.
Yeah, they're catching
and all
everything right
places,
now,
showing
dog.
the true horror as it unfolds.
Look
There
at
were
that.
$6 billion in damages, equivalent to $14 billion today. 1.4 million people had power outages after the 8 to 15 second quake. This earthquake case especially stuck out to me because it really was being recorded from all angles at all times. 3,757 people were left injured and 63 people died. Berlin Casino. On March 6, 2010, PokerStars, the largest real money online poker site in the world, was hosting and airing their European poker tour, where they would travel across Europe and host large poker events with hundreds of thousands of euros on the line. Like I was saying, on March 6, they would host a tournament in Berlin, Germany at the Grand Hyatt Hotel, where things would carry out as usual. Some people would lose money and some people would win money. All the while, the people at home were entertained by the players. Everything was as usual until...
What happened? There's a shooter. There's a shooter! Everybody get down! What the hell's happening? Earthquake? What's happening? There's a hole in the roof? The building's falling? The support pillars?
4 masked men wielding machetes and a handgun stormed the hotel, declaring to everyone that they were being robbed. In the lobby, there was a hassle between the men and security. Luckily, nobody was harmed other than a man with a few slashes from trying to hold down one of the men. The men would then make a run for their black Mercedes getaway, leaving with 242,000 euros. Despite the circumstances, German police were actually pretty amused, stating that the casino robbery was one of the most amateur robberies they had seen. Gathering,
I mean,
80
yeah,
witness accounts
coming in with freaking machetes and a pistol, like what the hell is that? what the hell is that? Who the hell said natural selection? Ban him!
Couple of days and leaving behind easy to solve evidence. The men would get arrested a few days after the robbery and were sentenced to 3 years in prison. And while everyone
Put these
made it
niggas
out of
away.
the robbery alive, the panic from the poker players in the moment the robbers stormed the hotel, not knowing the intentions of the men wielding huge knives and a gun, is pretty disturbing. Manila hostages. On August 23rd, 2010 at 9 a.m., a tour bus driver was waiting for his passengers to return from a tour in Fort Santiago, a well-known tourist spot in Manila, Philippines. Once the passengers returned and began boarding the bus, a man in police gear armed with a handgun and an M16 would join the tourists. Once inside, he would ask the driver, Alberto Lubang, for a free ride, but Lubang, obviously alarmed by the man, declined. At which point the man would order the 25 people in the bus to do whatever he says, whenever he says, otherwise they would get shot. The perpetrator was 55-year-old Rolando Mendoza, who was a former policeman and was fired from service due to an alleged drug violation, stripping all the benefits of retirement away from him. Mendoza would tell the passengers to close all curtains and instructed Lubang to head to Rizal Park. Around 10 a.m., the bus would arrive at Carino Grandstand, where Mendoza would handcuff Lubang to the steering wheel so that no escape could be made. Word would go out about what was going on, and within minutes there were police, onlookers, and tons of news stations began covering the case worldwide. Mendoza's interrogators would discover that Mendoza wanted to be reinstated into the police service, and if he gets what he wants, quote, I will voluntarily surrender with handcuffs on.
And then what, Mendoza? And then what? You get into the police service, and then what? You think they're gonna look at you the same after you done took a damn bus hostage of 25 people? The hell? What are you thinking, bro? Like,
behind the scenes,
they're gonna shoot the shit out you.
What to do in the situation if worst came to worst. SAF, or Special Action Force, was also on the scene, setting up snipers all around the Carino Grandstand. Manila's Vice Mayor Isko Moreno would be on his way to the office of the Ombudsman to reinstate Mendoza, and when Mendoza heard that this was happening, he would release 6 tourists and 2 Filipinos from the bus. It seemed like the messed up situation was going as well as it could be, until it didn't. Inside the bus, Mendoza was monitoring everything that was going on outside by watching the news, and suddenly he got upset. The media was presenting him negatively, as if he was a bad guy. Due to this, Mendoza demanded that a news station go inside the bus and interview him, as it was important to him that people knew his side of the story. However, the police didn't send the news in due to it being too risky. At around 1:30 p.m. after hours of waiting for the news interview, Mendoza's patience was put to the test. Media Now, 3 p.m. today. deadlock. He would tell the negotiators that if his demands weren't met, he would
kill
kill
him.
one person in the bus. He would then grab a random passenger and handcuff them by the door of the bus. With tensions high, the police were scrambling to figure something
Mendoza,
out. When a random man
how do you plan to become a cop after this, my boy? You're never gonna, like, bro, no one's gonna believe you now. You definitely on something, bro. They're gonna be like, dog, bro's definitely on something. You're never gonna drop the drug charges, man.
would appear on scene. The random man being Gregorio Mendoza, Rolando Mendoza's brother. And according to Gregorio, he was there to talk his brother out of the situation. However, after being searched by Major Salvador, a pistol was found in his holster and taken from him. He would then convince his brother to delay the deadlock for 3 p.m.
Muna ituloy yung 3 p.m. deadlock. Extension tayo. Hindi, wag muna, tol. Ipapaliwanag ko muna sa kanila yung sama ng loob natin pareho.
At 6 p.m., a news radio station would get into contact with Mendoza and had a live interview with him, at which point the ombudsman's decision letter was ready to be read by Mendoza.
Kapitan, pwede po ba nating basahin sa ere yung pong nilalaman nung pong sulat sa inyo ng ombudsman? Yes sir, Captain Mendoza. As per our conversation this afternoon, I hereby confirm that I shall personally review your case. I hope that you take my word. For that, I thank you for understanding my position as I completely understand yours. Basura, itong sulat na to, hindi ito ang kailangan ko.
This is not what I need. That letter is worthless. The letter they sent is worthless for me. Directly telling me I'm dismissed is better. Bad things are probably gonna
Mendoza
happen
was
inside the
pissed,
bus.
and everyone on the scene was busy trying to calm him down. All the while, the police were trying to arrest Gregorio Mendoza for bringing a firearm to a hostage scene. And all the news stations competing for the best story began to cover it. All the while, Mendoza was inside seeing all of it.
I see my brother. Why are they arresting my brother? I'm the one who's at fault. My brother is innocent. He is innocent. Tell them to release him. They're treating my brother like a pig. He has nothing to do with this. If they don't stop, I will kill everybody. I'll kill them.
His demands weren't met, and he
Bumbleclot.
would open fire live on air. At the front of the bus, the driver Lubang was trying to free himself from the handcuffs and managed to escape. Assuming everyone in the bus was General Magtibay would order the SWAT team to take action. However, their progress would be slow and unsuccessful as they struggled to get through the windows and door. And inside, Mendoza saw their every move and fought back. As the SWAT tried and failed to gain access, the staff would eventually take over, and their plan was to force Mendoza to the door so the snipers could get a clean shot. They threw tear gas in from the rear of the bus, leading to Mendoza retreating to the front of the bus. As Mendoza reached the door of the bus, a staff sniper would load, aim at his head, and
Hello.
once rescue forces entered the bus, they would be shocked to find 8 survivors. 9 people were killed, including
Damn.
Mendoza. Daniel's message. Daniel Victor Jones was a 40-year-old maintenance worker in Long Beach,
Damn,
California.
that one was kind of deep, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That one was Mendoza is wildin', boy. Nah, I don't. What was his plan? Wait, what? What are you thinking, bro? Yeah, let me take this whole bus hostage. Let me take this whole bus hostage, and then they're gonna make me a cop again. My boy, what? What kind of thought process is that, bro? You're never beating the drug allegations. Now, I mean, you're dead, but like, you were never gonna beat it. Shit, man.
And lived in a small 2-bedroom bungalow off an alleyway with old maintenance, including Mendoza. Daniel's message. Daniel Victor Jones was a 40-year-old maintenance worker in Long Beach, California, and lived in a small 2-bedroom bungalow off an alleyway with his 2 pet dogs. By April 1998, Daniel had been diagnosed with cancer and recently HIV. He would have a disagreement with his health insurer, which would be his tipping point, as by the end
Cancer and HIV is crazy. It was crazy.
of April 1998, Daniel thought he was really gonna die soon. And so on April 30th at around 3 p.m., Daniel would park his gray Toyota pickup truck by 2 freeways, sit in front of his parked car with his dog, and began pointing his loaded shotgun at random drivers on the freeway, prompting multiple drivers to call the police. Daniel himself would also call 911 though, saying that he was in pain because of the mistreatment by the health maintenance organizations, or HMOs, in whose care he had been placed. It would take him a month to schedule an appointment and another month to get the results. results. During the call, Daniel would fire several shotgun rounds, prompting the police to close both freeways. At this point, police and news helicopters had begun circling and broadcasting the case to people at home, including many kids that had just come home from school. Daniel would eventually get out of his truck and took out a big white square banner that read, "HMOs are in it for the money. Live free, love safe, or die," which he had made specifically for this incident. Daniel would make obscene gestures on the freeway to the helicopters and return to his truck often to pet his dog. But as authorities were getting ready to negotiate with him, he would light a Molotov cocktail inside his truck, resulting in the inside of the vehicle instantly bursting into a large fireball. Daniel would stumble out of the truck and run across the freeway.
He survived?
While trying to put himself out. It was clear that Daniel was unstable, and so police were scrambling to find something
He's
to
on
do.
something.
After ripping his pants off, he would wander around the highway looking dazed and confused.
Bro built like XQC.
Before stumbling to the edge of the highway while gesturing angrily, appearing like he was about to jump, but he ended up stepping back before returning to his burning truck and retrieving his shotgun from the back. He would run around on the closed freeway under a bunch of helicopters before standing still, aiming, and
Blow.
Daniel died 15 days after his 40th birthday. He would lay on the ground lifeless as the live cameras kept rolling. Being a Thursday afternoon, this was seen by thousands of children whose after-school cartoons were interrupted by Daniel.
Wait. Go back.
And run across the freeway while trying to put himself out. It was clear that Daniel was unstable, and so police were scrambling to find something to do. After ripping his pants off, he would wander around the highway looking dazed and confused, before stumbling to the edge of the highway while gesturing angrily, appearing like he was about to jump, but he ended up stepping back before returning to his burning truck and retrieving his shotgun from the back. He would run around on the closed freeway under a bunch of helicopters before standing still, aiming, and
Killing himself.
Daniel died 15 days after his 40th birthday.
Yeah, so the dog died in the truck. The dog died in the truck? In the Molotov cocktail?
He would lay on the ground lifeless as the live cameras kept rolling. Being a Thursday afternoon, this was seen by thousands of children whose after-school cartoons were interrupted by Daniel's message. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Again, my bad for leaving for 2 months. That's my fault. That is all me. I'm sorry. This is Editor Tway here, just to say that you should subscribe and like the video because this dunce over here forgot to tell you. Also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. But yeah, I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Why the hell were news playing on Cartoon Network, bruh? That's all I'm saying. Don't interrupt my Cartoon Network for nothing going on in the world, unless that shit's about to end. That's some, what the hell is that?